Hello, hello, hello. I decided to make some clusters today and decided to take you on the journey with me. These are made with using trash, scraps. So, if you are interested in seeing my creative process to get these done, keep watching. Keep watching because we had some fun today. Okay, so let's get started. I am just going to take a look at some of the things that I have here to get my creativity flowing. Lots of fun stuff. Uh, when you have something like this, like the skeleton of some punches that you've done, don't be scared to just kind of rip those apart because you can start seeing things in a different light if you kind of break them down some. I feel like that would be a really cute edge on something. I don't think I'll consider using this part really because there's not enough contrast, but I can definitely utilize that in some type of way at some point because I can always stamp over it and things like that. So yeah, I know we as crafters we keep way too much stuff, but keep this stuff around because it is useful. So my intent is to really use my scraps, my trash, things that I've just kind of worked on and just put aside. I did a lot of stamping on craft paper, tissue paper, so I really want to start utilizing all of that stuff. Also, when you're creating every day, your desk tends to pile up with all of this stuff. So I'm really, really, really wanting to knock down my paper scrap pile. I recently bought some new inks, so I needed some new tools to ink with. So I got some daubers and I decided not to throw this away. So this is what we're going to make our clusters out of today. We um I want them to have like a nice stable background. And you see this does have a little bit of flimsiness to it. So it's not too hard. And this did get pulled away from it. So it kind of made it a little bit even thinner and flimsier. So I'm definitely going to utilize this to create some clusters, maybe even a tag out of it. Uh, and I also want to utilize this part too. So I may just go ahead and start putting a couple of things layered up together. I do like to have a different variety of sizes of clusters because I do make different size journals. So size does matter to me. Okay. And once again, we're not gonna get rid of that. Okay. We're not getting rid of that at all. This is a map printable that I printed out a while back to make ephemeral with. And I was not going to toss out that beautiful printed image. So we are going to utilize this today. And the word of the day is utilize. I'm going to leave that there. Okay. So it is nap time at my house, but My toddler is refusing to nap right now. So if you guys hear banging, I apologize. Okay, not that. I'm looking for something kind of lighter in color because this is kind of dark for me at the moment. And I don't think I want anything too bold with the stamping. I might. Don't know if that's going to be what I want, but it's okay. Let's see here. Okay, I'm kind of digging that. Let's take this down a little bit more. Okay. I like that part. I need some texture. That's what I need. Okay. So I get this stuff from the Dollar Tree. It is in the floral arrangement section. Let's try to pronounce that again. Section. There we go. I coffee dye this. I ink it to turn it into a different color. I also like adding gold to it because I don't know, I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. So we're just gonna chomp some pieces off of this stuff. This is a really good way to kind of like add texture and something different to altered paper clips, to clusters. So I tend, when I'm making these, I tend to kind of layer them in the back. Let me get this out of my way. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. I feel like my background music is not backgroundy enough. I feel like it's so loud right now. And this is the fun part for me about making clusters. You just get to play around with it, layering things and seeing what type of design you can come up with. Okay, I'm liking that. I like that a lot. Even though the map is still a bit big for me, I don't really want to tear that down. And this kind of curl is annoying me at the moment, but I'm not ripping this up because I want it this size. Okay, I think we have that. That is going to be like my base. I would consider that a base because then I'll add some like 3D elements, stitching. I'll run my sewing machine through this. I'll add a button or some type of like 3D dimensional effect so that, I have layers of it going on there. And for this one, I kind of like that just as it is. I like that it doesn't have an extremely hard background right now. I may add to that to give it some stability, but if I do, it'll probably be something like this. Let me see. Let's see here. Unethical. Boom. Perfect. It says unethical. A lot of people, some of the YouTubers that I watch, they specify, when you're using words to kind of give a look over the words to make sure they're not offensive or a bad message or something like that. And I do, I definitely don't want to offend people, but I kind of like using thought provoking words. If this is going to be handed to someone or even myself, and just because someone thinks it's a negative word, doesn't necessarily mean that sometimes we don't need to think about that negativity. In today's world, we definitely need to think about what's unethical and not. Right. Okay, I'm done preaching. Perfect. Okay, I really, really like that one too. I am trying to decide if I want to ink some edges. I'm going to get in there really close so that you can see what I'm working with here for now. And these can come together fairly quickly if you're not being picky. I kind of am being picky a little bit right now with these because I do have some type of mindset as to what I want these for. So yeah. Okay, so I want to do a little bit of inking around the edges. I did pull out 3 colors here. So I think I'm going to start with a little bit of the Festive Berries. I have not used this one yet, so I don't know exactly what color I'm going to get, so I'm kind of scared. Okay, it's kind of a corally color. I think especially since I'm using it on a craft colored background. So, no reason to be scared. And don't have any there. Not going to be perfect about it. Actually, I definitely want it to be imperfect. And I think I'm going to give this a little bit of a color to it. Just a little. To kind of tie them all together, make them a little bit cohesive. I've watched every season of Project Runway, so anytime I'm like being creative and I want something to go together, I always think of cohesion. Right? Alright, so there we go. There we go. We got a little bit of that going, and I don't think that went that way. It was boom, boom, and then okay, there we go. Still a little bit high, but yeah. And I'm excited to use pumice stone. So I am using the oxides. I doubt that I do any. That's barely showing up. I doubt that I, oxidize these things. Yep, okay. That's a little bit too much of a neutral color for what I want. Let's see what it looks like on this paper. Yeah, I'm getting like nothing. It's like using white paint on a. I mean, you can. It's a little bit there, but it's not enough to like use the ink and wasted in a sense. Okay, rethink. One moment. I will be right back. Okay, so I've decided to try milled lavender. See what that's going to do for me in my pre-aged papers. Okay, all right, I like that color. It's not very bright, but it is giving a nice light lavender color, and I'm here for it. Getting these very small pieces of paper inked up can be annoying, but we're gonna get it. Nothing here is ever done in a perfect way. We're gonna do it as simplified as possible, and I want to say as quickly as possible, but you know, I'm slow when it comes to this stuff. I just really do enjoy it so very much that, you know, I like to take my time. Okay, I decided to pull out Shabby Shutters to give a little bit of contrast to the pink and purple lavender. I'm not going to go over every single edge here. Well, on that one anyways. This one I will. So that's the thing about cohesion, right? Everything is kind of looking the same, but not looking the same. And I ink up this edge really well because it was previously faux watercolored and it was green. So let's make that green really pop. So unfortunately, I do need to kind of like place them all in the same order after I work with it so that I can kind of gauge where I want to go next with these. Okay, I'm gonna have a think and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm going to add some thread to these. This is nothing special. This is just actually, don't even think it's thread. I think it's well, I guess technically it's thread, but it's the fraying of this fabric bit here. So I'm just going to kind of lay that down. Once everything is together, I can go in and play with them and move them where I want them to be. So for now, we're not going to worry about where everything is placed at the moment. And just kind of grab it, place it down. Nope, that's not gonna. I would say just make sure it's not too like crumpled up so that you're not gonna see it if you place it there. I may want more here. So I'll just come in. Yep. Let's maybe pull something apart here. Literally just lay it there and go. So these little threads are always fun to try to glue down. And I mean that in the most sarcastic way as possible. So that's what I have right now. And I think I'm going to go ahead actually and start gluing. I do know that some people staple these. Totally okay if that's what you want to do. I like gluing because I do the sewing after. Yeah, that's how I'm keeping my glue closed up right now. Because I always lose my my little pin that I have in it. So I guess it's just best to grab a paper clip here and there and use that. Okay, so boom. Let's grab this. Boom. And then we had that. Bam. And this. So I know a lot of people have trouble gluing this. What I do is, oh boy, give me a second because I don't want this bit of the map completely covered. Okay, I think that's okay. What I do, I just take my glue and I kind of give it dabbles and thin lines on the thin lines to get that glued down. And it typically works out how I need it to. I really don't want that piece covered up. So yeah, these, for me, my clusters, they always look different than than what I intended. Oh well, we're just gonna have to cover it up because I don't like the look of it anywhere else. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. All that padding is not necessary. That's a little bit of my anxiety kicking in probably. Because I just felt the need to do that. So. Wish me luck. Another bit there. Once again, gluing down all of these strings and not always the funnest of things to do or the easiest of things to do, but we make it work. And everything that we layer on top of it helps keep it down as well. So I don't get too worried about the strings, the threads, when I'm doing something like this. And also when I'm gluing, I do not typically go all the way to the edge either because I do like some lifting, some folding, and things like that. Give me a moment. Okay. Alrighty, so we have two clusters there. My glue bottle is helping me out today because for some reason it keeps giving me bubbles of glue. Probably because it's too full. I honestly don't like working with a bottle of glue that's too full because it does that for me. Sure, you know, it's not much waste, but when you're paying $12 for a glue bottle, or in some cases $16 for a glue bottle, because this is not a economical glue at all. It, you know, it is a bit of a pricier glue in the crafting world, not Elmer's glue. So I do try to not waste too much. Just because for me this is, you know, a craft and hobby. You know, sure, I sell some things, but it's not enough to justify the eel use of craft supplies. Okay, it's not that serious, but yeah. Okay, so that's what I have now. I'm going to take a look in my bucket bin and see what type of buttons that I want to add here, because I do believe that's going to be it. So give me one moment. Okay, so this is my bucket bin. I do still have some in the packs. Sorry if you're getting glare from the packages. My apologies. My apologies. Okay, I don't know how these got in there, but okay. I shouldn't have done that, guys. I really should not have done that, but it's okay. So these buttons, it's cute. I like that one. This is a mix of buttons that I have. Actually, this is a resin button that I made. Bought some Happy Mail was sent to me. Thrift stores, Dollar Tree. I have a pack of buttons in here from the Dollar Tree. But I don't, so the thing that I'm wanting right now, I don't want them to be too big. I don't want them to be much bigger than this, because I do want some type of like 3D element, but I don't want it to be overwhelming either. So you see, these are the little buttons that have those little tabs on the back. And I really like it, but I don't like it at the same time. So I just might need to do a flat one. I could probably do a little bit of a bigger one here, since it doesn't really have a focal point yet, because I do think these images are focal pointy. Okay, so I'm going to take a look around and I will be right back. Okay, so I found some buttons that I like. I'm still kind of on the fence about, I guess, a couple of them. This is it. Right, and then I have these. And I know that this kind of probably comes off as looking dirty, but I don't think it's dirty. I think it's just stained, maybe. And maybe even burnt. Let's see here. Using a little bit of a wipe on it to give it a rub and see if anything comes off. Yeah, no, that's not coming off. That's definitely some age there. So I like it, and I like that it does tie in with my color scheme. And I also like these. So am I like the only person who ever looks at a button and then I'm like, okay, wait, which side? Which side is the front and which side is the back? Right? Because I actually like this side better than the front, and I think this is the back side. Does that matter? No, I guess not. But then the front side is really pretty too, but I don't really want anything like super white. But then this one, you know, that's a really good size there. Whereas that one, let's see on the camera. 1, 2. Okay, I think this is going to be too big for that one, so I'll leave that there. So that's that. So now I just have to decide, which one will I go with? I really want to do this one, but I really want to do this one too because of the size. One moment. Okay, so I went back into my bucket bin and I pulled out this bucket. So it's kind of similar to the smaller one that I previously had. The back side it's not ugly, but it's okay. But the front side is definitely, I think, more what I wanted in the size that I wanted. So that's perfect. There's a little bit of shine there. I think this might be mother of a pearl type button. So that's pretty cool. Now, before I sew on my buttons, I want to do my sewing. So I will be right back again. Okay. So I just added a zigzag stitch to each one of them. This one did eat up my tissue paper. I probably went a little bit too crazy, but it is okay. I don't mind the wrinkles. Another zigzag stitch there. My only recommendation when you're adding stitching to a cluster, if you are, using it to keep things together, make sure you're getting all of the pieces of a layer on there. If not, make sure you've glued it down really, really, really well. Put that there. And this one here. And I guess that one's going to go up there as well. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can get a little bit more of what's going on. And I'm just going to glue these down with Fabri-Tac. I know I can go in with needle and thread, but I'm not about that life. So I'm just going to put down a little glob of glue, big enough, but I don't want it to be too globby because the glue will push through the holes in the button. So I say a glob, but it's really not a glob. Nope. And these are going to stick on there for forever and a day. Okay? My great, 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 great grandkids will be able to see these. If someone keeps them for that long. I'm kidding. I can't say it's going to take like that amount of years for this glue to disintegrate or whatever. I haven't been using it for a long enough time. And there we go. We have some cute little clusters. If you wanted to, you could also add extra fabric bits, laces behind it. Where's my lace? To give it even more dimension, actually. I kind of like that. But I don't want to do that right now. So yeah, these are just some clusters that will get you started quick and easy, using up trash that's on your desk, and it won't take very, very long at all. If you're more organized than me, you can whip out like 10 of these in 30 minutes. Of course, it takes me 30 minutes for 3, but that's how I roll. So thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you haven't already done so, subscribe, please. And I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see some clusters from you as well.